I'm John Bowis, and I'm here as Health First Europe's president in the distinguished and kneeling at his feet company of our patron, David Byrne, our former health commissioner, and here thanks to our parliamentary colleagues who in both cases unfortunately can't be with us, but one is Françoise Grossetête, for whom Francois is here and waving. And thank you, Francois, for being here to make us legal. And thank you to Françoise for co-hosting this occasion. Françoise is, I almost kneel at her feet as much as I kneel at David's, because she took on the report that I had started on cross-border health as my last contribution to the life of this Parliament, and saw it safely through in the most recent Strasbourg plenary. And congratulations to her on achieving that. I think that's good news for patients. And our other host is, or co-host is Milan Savanok from Czech Republic, who is one of the authors of this document, which we are here to launch and to give our blessings to, and to hope that in doing that we actually help it to reach out to people in the Parliament and in policy making and way beyond these institutions, all important as they are, because at least part of the message is to the member states who stand behind us, and we want them to heed the message of this report, which essentially is they should do more. They should put e-health further up their national agendas, as we want the Commission and Council and Parliament to put it up the European agenda. And why? Because it's very much part of the policy and philosophy of the current European Union. You only have to look at President Barroso's policy statements, and where does it all circulate round? It's the 2020 policy. It's creating a competitive Europe. And one of the messages of Health First Europe, and one that I entirely endorse, is that you cannot have a healthy economy, a competitive economy, without healthy people. And to achieve that, we need to harness e-health to make that more possible. And e-health is not the final answer to all our health prayers, but it certainly is part of the answer. And it's part of the answer for which I think our citizens, our constituents, our fellow patients are impatient to see it in action. And in this excellent document, I can say it's excellent, all I did was write the foreword. There are some far more expert pens have been brought to bear on the chapters of it. In there you will find the reasons for e-health, the methods of e-health, and the need to bring e-health forward and make it a reality. And of course, it will cost in the short term. But as we always say, you have to invest in order to produce returns in health. And health is not a burden, it's a benefit. We know that at a time of economic difficulties, it's not always easy to persuade the financial powers in governments or commission that we can spend on anything. But at a time of economic difficulties, the need for health is often more severe, more stark than at other times. And if you combine those pressures with the pressures that we have and they're good pressures, some of them. The good pressure of healthy, longer living, but aging which can lead to later years of frailty and the need to be cared for, or the need to care for oneself. And that's one of the e-health possibilities. We have the good news of the advances in medical science, which bring new hope and benefits, but at a cost. And we need to make sure that we are using those effectively, and that's part of e-health too. And we have to ensure that our citizens who are patients, who do have health needs or disability needs, are protected, that they have safe medicines, safe treatments, that the proper pharmacovigilance is to hand, that we avoid hospital-acquired infections and so forth. And all of these things, e-health can play its part. We look forward to advances on personalized medicine so that people can take more control of their own health. But to do that, they will need to be helped to understand what e-health is providing for them, what equipment as well as medicines are available, and how to use them. We have to make sure that if we are going to stand back and say to individuals, we're going to trust you to do more for yourself in health, we mustn't say, that's it. We have to say, and we will stand behind you. We will do the monitoring. We will be there to pick you up if you slip. And e-health can monitor from a distance. It can bring that non-intrusive monitoring, which enables people to have independence, but also to be protected. There are so many areas in this, and I'm not going to go through the whole document, highlighting everything. I'll leave that to David. I'm going to say to you that I think it's a document worth reading. I think Andre Riche, who has, from the Commission, who has written one of the chapters, I just want to quote from something he says about what e-health is. Because I think part of the problem is that an awful lot of people out there talk about e-health, but you might as well say E stands, if not for Europe, then for ecstasy, I suppose. They don't quite know what it means. They think it's a good thing. They don't know how it works, and they perhaps ought to. So he says, so what is e-health? E-health is used interchangeably with the term ICT. Well, that's not very helpful. But ICT, he goes on to explain, as information and communication technologies. But then he goes on to refer to the 2004 action plan on e-health, which identified certain technologies as e-health. And his examples he gives include health information networks, electronic health records, telemedicine services, personal, wearable and portable communication systems, health portals, and many other information and communication technology-based tools assisting prevention, diagnosis, treatment, health monitoring, and lifestyle management. That is very much what it's about. And for patients, that means safety, it means progress, it means avoiding some of the delays and some of the problems that they've had in the past. For health professionals, it means quicker communication between colleagues with up-to-date research and swiftly processing patients' needs. And I think for all those reasons, this is something that we should give a fair wind to. And to help me give a fair wind in raising the profile of e-health and endorsing this Health First Europe publication, I'm very pleased to say that our, as I said, former Commissioner David Byrne has joined us today, and he had a very distinguished career in the European Union, and he moved health forward. And I think, David, in your time, we can say that health was raised up that agenda. It became more important, and with the various things that we did, we had health threats, but we also had health progress, and that's tribute to you, whether it was things like the Centre of Disease Control, which we were involved with jointly, or the cross-border health care, which we started and has now been completed post our time. But we look forward to welcoming you now and hearing what you would like to say to us. Thank you, David.